The word rejection is defined as the spurning of a person's affections. Merriam-Webster goes further and says the action or state of being rejected. And rejected means to be cast off, to refuse as a lover or a spouse, or to spew out. So I'm here this morning with a morning mantra to ask you to maybe take a different perspective, ladies and gentlemen, and to suggest to you that it is possible, because I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't want to tell you what to think, but to suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, that it might be possible that what we sometimes think is rejection, could it actually be protection? If we believe, as I shared with you some days ago, and I should link that in the box below, let me write myself a note because I am very bad about meaning to link and not linking. So link the all things video. If we believe that all things work together for good for those that are the called according to Father and Mother's purpose and that do seek them diligently, then we have to believe that all things do work together for good. So what if what we interpret as rejection is actually protection? What if the person that rejects you and says, I don't want to be with you anymore, what if that's really Father and Mother, the divine, doing you a favor? What if it's not rejection? What if it's protection? And I suggest to you 3 questions to ask yourself in this situation. Number 1, how can I improve? What did I do that could have been done better throughout the course of the relationship? What are my responsibilities? Sometimes it'll be nothing. Sometimes it'll be a list. But ask yourself, what can I do to improve? Secondly, how did I leave? And this is something you want to ask yourself before you leave. Because what you don't want is to be oh yeah? Well, I'm this, then you're that. And if oh man, I tell you what, I used to be the kind of guy that if you got in a battle of wits with me, you would feel like you were unarmed because I was going to eviscerate you with my vocabulary and bring you to a sniveling mass of tears. And I would pat myself on the back for that. And all that was ego and hurt and pain and immaturity. So when you know when you're getting that, as soon as it's not you, it's me, it starts to happen, start asking yourself, how am I going to leave? Even when you're the one that gets rejected, how do you leave? It's so important. Don't leave saying or doing anything that you can't forgive yourself for, or you can't live with. And if you did say something or do something, apologize for it sincerely before you leave. Even if you're kicked out, do it on the way out. Don't do anything that would prevent a future miracle, because we don't know what the future holds. But remember, yesterday we talked about we can tell our future. So if you're going to create your future, and you can, do everything that you can to create a positive, a bright, a beautiful future. Don't do things, say things, act things that will create a less than beautiful future. Now, someone said, does that mean we have to be walked on? No, not at all. We don't have to be abused. We don't have to take any of that. But we can't control what comes at us, but we can control what comes from us. So it's just one of those zip the lip, pack your stuff, and go. Don't do anything that you'll have a hard time regretting yourself or a hard time forgiving yourself for. Don't say or do anything that prevents a future miracle. And maybe even go above and beyond and be the better woman, be the better man. Number 3, ask yourself, what's the lesson? What's the lesson to learn? Because we're past thinking a bad thing happened. We're past thinking a good thing happened. And now we're just saying a thing happened. What's the lesson here? Ponder it, think about it, look at it, consider it. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when you think you've been rejected, you're really being protected. That doesn't mean it feels any better to be rejected. That doesn't mean that you don't hurt and you don't eat junk food and you don't sleep too much. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you're not really being rejected. Okay, you're being rejected on a 3D level. You're being rejected on a 3D meat suit human level. Someone in a 3D meat suit has rejected you. Big deal. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but it's hard for me not to sometimes. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, there's almost 4 billion other men or women on this planet. So if one of them out of 4 billion rejects you, how big a deal is it really? I mean, let's just talk here, okay? How big of a deal is it really? And if the father and mother moved the situation or allowed the situation to move for that person to reject you because they're trying to protect you, do you really want to try to override the will of the father and the mother? You only know when you know. And I'm trying to offer you some hope. I'm trying to offer you some inspiration because I'm telling you, cousin, sometimes it's not rejection, it's protection. Take care of yourself, ask those questions, do the work. It is an inside job. And we have to unindoctrinate ourselves from the idea of rejection and realize that sometimes, and for those that are the called, I'm willing to bet it's just about every damn time. It's not rejection, cousin. It's protection. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. I got your back, and I know you got mine, and that means so much to me. It really does. I'll be back later today with some more broadcast excellence. And speaking of broadcast excellence, I'm so excited and honored that over 1,000 of you watched the show with Jay last night on The Last Stand, even though we weren't able to do it live. If you haven't seen that, go back to it, watch it. It was a powerful, powerful show. You're not rejected, cousin. You're protected. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. Ask questions, question answers, unindoctrinate yourself, create yourself. It is an inside job. And hey, we haven't got time to worry about rejection. Let's live in protection because we are the last generation of real humans. And get out of that depression. I'm out. And let's get busy.